Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another episode of JayReviews. We talk about the movies so sublime, all the way to the movies done so bad it should be a crime. Let me know how my raps are doing. I'm low-key like, I think every episode we gonna do a little rhyme. I kind of like that. We are talking about a movie so sublime that, in my personal take, low-key, this felt like the passing of the torch of an animated sports underdog movie. We are talking about
We chillin' in the penthouse, we chillin' in the penthouse!
On paper, it's giving Zootopia meets Space Jam, but in execution, it's its own wave entirely. If you know the NBA, or if you honestly just know sports in general, how the politics and the climate of it all is, you know what that hunger can bring out of a rising star or athlete. It's not a one-for-one biopic on Steph Curry, and that's what makes it hit, in my opinion. The film remixes the blueprint. Instead of copying it, it sprinkles in subtle shifts that let it stand on its own while honoring the very inspiration itself. Number 30, Steph Curry. Quiet confidence, a shake the system mentality all woven in between the story. It's animated ambition with heart, swagger, and something real to say something about the legacy. I can't lie, the voice acting in this, not a single weak link. There wasn't a single performance that I actually had a problem with or even felt out of place throughout the whole thing. First off, shout out to the boy Caleb McLaughlin. It's dope to see him step out of the Stranger Things cloud and really own a role like this, even though this isn't his first rodeo, pun intended, Concrete Cowboy.
How you 50% of all cowboys were black. Even the Lone Ranger were black.
Who's the Lone Ranger?
Really? Harp, you teaching this boy anything?
Message!
He's been in a whole lot of other different things, but I feel like now that Stranger Things is over, he needed to make a name for himself again, even though he has to, you know how I go for black people. We gotta prove it time and time again that we meant to be here, and he honestly took over this role. He's meant to be here, proving his range. He brings out authenticity and emotional depth in his role, capturing the vulnerability and the ambition of a young player finding his footing in the big leagues. He carried himself with confidence, charisma, and that underdog hunger you could actually feel through the screen. And the OG Gabrielle Union, man.
I couldn't even see him in the chair, Flo. How am I supposed to see him on the court?
She was phenomenal and an exceptional act as the veteran facing the prospect of retirement. Her arc had weight, it had humor, and most importantly, it had heart. She gave it layers, not just voice acting, but real presence. Her presence carried nuance, balancing strength and humor. This wasn't her story, but she was important to the story. Next up on the voice acting list is Aaron Pierre.
A goat and some spare change?
Every line felt intentional, and he was a surprisingly good rapper. Might have to do with his ties with Tiana, but hey, they over and done now.
You don't belong here. You're too small.
Without him even raising his voice, he was the cool, subtle guy. As the antagonist, he played it ice cold. Too cool to care, too impressed, too composed to lose. That effortless arrogance makes you want to see this bad guy lose and get humbled. Now, he's not over the top evil. He's polished, he's smug, and competitive in a way that feels real. The type of villain you boo when you see him walk on the court. The energy he makes it personal, and that's exactly why it just works. Now, I might blame it on him being light-skinned, but that's just that's a personal thing. And speaking of Steph, actually, despite being the inspiration behind the story, he takes a refreshingly restrained approach. Rather than dominating the narrative, he contributes thoughtfully, allowing the ensemble characters to thrive and really take over the story. I mean, the story's about him, you don't gotta be in it that much, and I appreciate him taking that step back.
I'm just here for the amazing company.
A choice that I must say reflects confidence and humility, kind of like his player style leadership.
I believe you are exactly what Jet and this team needs right now.
Overall, the vocal performance has elevated the film and gives it a story with genuine emotional weight. The one thing about Sony Pictures Animation, they're going to get that music right every time. This is the same studio, keep in mind, that gave us Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and also even the genre-bending K-pop Demon Hunters. Sony is a music brand first, so I'm not surprised that their music is gonna hit in their films. The tracks just don't play in the background, they move the story. It's even somewhat playlist worthy. What I think really stands out in this film though is how the film captures the digital age, and it shows how this era is without feeling forced or corny.
I guess you could say you're finding your roar.
Nah, I'm finding mine. Yeah, I'm lit. Yeah, little.
It shows how social media can be a cheat code for some players or the downfall. The building of brands, shaping narratives, flipping the spotlight legit in real time sometimes, especially with the sports betting nonsense going on. I feel like they didn't really harp on that, but it shows how powerful social media can be for people in the spotlight, such as all-stars and players. It also shows different struggles of athletes. While some are struggling with social media, others might be, say, more grounded in their family lifestyle, their legacy, or passions outside of the game. And then you simply just got their wild cards, the unapologetically different ones that might be hard to bond with the team, but they're loyal to a fault. Moving in their own lane, it feels authentic. Not preachy, not too try hard, just sharp, honest reflection of the era we're currently in. The GOAT humor. Come on. I know I'm not the only one who caught that. If you ever laughed at a random GOAT scream video online, you already know those moments that I'm talking about. That scream is embedded in your head. That's internet culture done right. Subtle, clever, and perfectly timed. The culture is embedded in every frame. Not just NBA culture, I'm talking about culture. The lingo, the trash talk, it all feels lived in, not manufactured. The dialogue between the players sound like real locker room dialogue, real sideline talk, nothing watered down, just kind of how it is. And speaking of eras, in this AI-generated content era that we are in, that's flooding our timelines, you can tell Sony Pictures took their time with this. This isn't rushed, it's craft. Every frame feels intentional, detailed, and creative. The world building was very Zootopia-esque in that structure. It's real animation, real art. AI over art will always win. But you wanna know what really hits? What really sealed the deal for me and GOAT was the choice to make the GOAT of this universe, the LeBron, I would say, a female Black Panther. Yeah, baby! That's representation. It's a reminder that greatness isn't boxed in. Woman hoop, different size, people hoop, different shades of people hoop. Legends don't come in one mold. It can include anybody. The film celebrates that loudly and unapologetic, and that's a win beyond the box office. Yes, this is a sports movie, so it's something that we all have seen before, and that's the underdog story. We've seen the rookie versus the veteran story before. It never gets old, especially when it's done well. You're rooting for Will, the rookie chasing his shot against Jet, the 15-year-old vet, future Hall of Famer, and the current GOAT. Yet, current GOAT still missing that championship ring. Reminds me of some players. Reminds me of a lot of players. But back on topic, when these two opposing sides clash, it's pure sports drama, gold. You're on the edge of your seat, nerves rattled, heart racing, fully invested in every win and of course every loss. Every move on the court you want to see go your way, and you're not gonna like it when it doesn't. It's the kind of story that hits you in your gut and keeps you cheering all the way through. The one thing I did wish for, even though this was a great movie, probably the best of 2026 so far, and that's crazy, an animated one had to start us off like on a GOAT status. Ooh, pun intended, what? I kind of wish we vibed with the characters more. The third act felt a little rushed, which makes sense. The movie clocks in at 1 hour and 40 minutes, and yeah, it's a kid's movie, so they gotta wrap it up quick. It comes to a point where it's gotta be like,
Them kids.
Kids?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, sometimes you just want to sit back and soak it all in. That said, the movie is a hit. It hit me with early 2000 animated energy, the kind that I grew up watching. It's layered, colorful, fun, entertaining, packed with inspirational messages without being too preachy, which nowadays is very hard because everybody's too woke. It does feel good knowing that we ain't losing recipes.
I need to hear it.
Bye.
With feeling.
Bye.
You goats are weird. I like it.
That's it for another episode of JayReviews. Thank y'all for coming on by. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and TikTok. And again, let's get them comments up, man. Let's be interactive. Soon gonna have guest stars on the show. Let me know if y'all want to participate. We can set it up, watch a flick, knock it out. But again, good morning, good evening, afternoon. I'll catch y'all on the next one.